Watch out, you guys.
The ocean is many things. It's a vast entity that covers over 80% of our world. It's the home to almost an incalculable amount of ocean life, and it's a source of water for many via various means. But as great as it is also something that is very dangerous. And not just in the you can drown in it way. There are certain phenomena on the ocean that occur that are more dangerous than certain things on land, to the extent that everyone should know about them so they don't get hurt. Given that, allow us to show you the most dangerous ocean phenomenon. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Rogue wave. Rogue waves are massive walls of water that literally come out of nowhere to crash against boats and ships with such terrible impact that many have been sunk because of them. That alone would make them a deadly phenomenon to deal with. But there's a catch when it comes to rogue waves, because while many captains and crew can see regular waves coming, they usually never see a rogue wave coming because there's no way to know when they're going to form. So much so that there are various and numerous explanations for how rogue waves come to be and why they are so ferocious. Despite these theories and explanations, no true answers are out there, which makes them even more dangerous as a phenomenon to behold. If you're curious on how a wave, even a blindsiding one, can be so effective and destructive that it is to be feared, the answer is simple. These waves are able to reach 50 or 60 feet in height, which means that they can easily cover the entire height of a fishing vessel, including the captain's cabin, which is higher up on the deck. On the show Deadliest Catch, the captains frequently have to look out for rogue waves because they can blindside their ships and cause all sorts of problems, and many crewmen have been injured by rogue waves during the course of the series. Some have even been shown to hit with such intensity to break windows, knock out power systems, and in one case, flood an air vent and cause water to reach all the way down into the crew quarters. And as you likely have guessed, this was just one kind of wave that can happen out on the ocean. Number 7. Tsunami. Not to be confused with a tidal wave, which we'll also get to, a tsunami is an ocean phenomena caused by underwater earthquakes and can be absolutely devastating on various areas of land and water. For example, want to know about the biggest one ever? On the night of July 9th, 1958, an earthquake along the Fairweather Fault in the Alaska Panhandle loosened about 40 million cubic yards of rock high above the northeastern shore of Lituya Bay. This massive rock plunged from an altitude of approximately 3,000 feet down into the waters of Gilbert Inlet. The impact force of the rockfall generated a local tsunami that crashed against the southwest shoreline of Gilbert Inlet. The wave hit with such power that it swept completely over the spur of land that separates Gilbert Inlet from the main body of Lituya Bay. The wave then continued down the entire length of the bay over Lachaussee Spit and into the Gulf of Alaska. The force of the wave removed all trees and vegetation from elevations as high as 1,720 feet above sea level. Millions of trees were uprooted and swept away by the wave. This is the highest wave that has ever been known, both in terms of a tsunami and a tidal wave, and no matter which one it was or wasn't, it was not something to be caught up in. Number 6. Tidal wave. As for what a tidal wave is, these are waves that are caused by the ocean and the gravity of the earth itself, meaning that it's something that is not forced into life like a tsunami, but rather something that is naturally born to life. Not that this isn't dangerous, because it absolutely is, so much so that these waves can reach great height and cause all sorts of damage to both people and property, but they're also the kind of waves that you can go and surf, and some of them are able to reach hundreds of feet into the air. So surf's up, dude, but be careful overall about it, okay? Number 5. Hurricane. Hurricanes are, by and large, something that whole nations fear, because while they usually come in certain seasons and weather patterns, and though we can detect them when they're forming, there is very little that one can do to truly prepare for the destruction that is coming. Hurricanes form over the ocean, and they can be massive in width, in fact many miles long. The incredible wind power mixes with the waters of the ocean to create a wall of force that barrel towards land. When they hit, they seem like a regular storm at first, but the intense winds, which can reach upwards of 300 miles per hour at times, propel water, and the debris they're slinging around can cause devastation on a massive scale. Examples of this include Hurricane Katrina, which nearly wiped New Orleans off the map, or in 2017 when Hurricane Harvey nearly flooded all of Houston, Texas, causing untold amounts of destruction and harm to its citizens. On coasts that are near heavy hurricane activity areas, there's a natural warning for when they are approaching, and the best advice that is given is to board up your homes and evacuate the area until the hurricane dies out, which is not easy as they can last for days depending on the cell itself. Number 4. Underwater volcanoes. Now, everyone's heard of a volcano, but when you think of them, you likely think about the massive body of land rising from the depths or a long dormant entity erupting with great power and destroying all in its path. Yet, under the water, volcanoes erupt more than you think. In fact, it happens in a way that is both mysterious and beautiful, and dangerous if you're not careful. Because of their location, they rarely rise above the surface, yet they still produce magma, a lot of it actually, and this is where one of the mysteries comes into play. For the depths and pressure make it so the water doesn't boil, becoming a supercritical liquid, or something that isn't a solid or a liquid. So what is it exactly? Well, it's hard to say. You'd likely only experience this particular ocean phenomena if you're diving, but it is still something to keep in mind. Number 3. Red tide. While some of these phenomena and mysteries of the ocean are awe-inspiring, some of them are downright deadly as we've shown you so far. But another very real example of this is the infamous red tide. This event is one of the most dangerous things threatening the ocean and its inhabitants, and it even threatens humanity. Red tide is an event created by red algae when they grow out of control. It is so toxic that it kills fish and plants that are below it, and if it washes up on the shores of land, it can hurt humans too. It can even affect the air to make breathing difficult. This event is one that is causing scientists to scramble in order to prevent from getting too big, but it is hard. Hopefully the cure for this isn't a mystery unto itself, because the longer this goes, the more lives are going to be in danger. Number 2. Waterspout. A waterspout is a spinning column of air and mist that forms on lakes, rivers, and at sea. Waterspouts fall into 2 categories, fair weather and tornadic. Tornadic waterspouts are tornadoes that form over water or move from land to water. They are associated with severe thunderstorms and are often accompanied by high winds and seas, large hail, and dangerous lightning. The tornadic variety are more dangerous than fair weather waterspouts and are generally not associated with thunderstorms and usually form along the dark flat baseline of a developing cumulus cloud. While tornadic waterspouts develop downward into a thunderstorm, a fair weather waterspout develops on the surface of the water and works its way upward. Fair weather waterspouts form in light wind conditions, so they normally move very little. Either way though, you don't want to be near it if it occurs. Number 1. Maelstrom. A maelstrom is a strong whirlpool that forms when opposing currents meet to form swirling water. Its name comes from the Dutch words malen, to whirl or grind, and strom, meaning stream. A maelstrom can be dangerous due to powerful currents that occur below the surface, which can pull surrounding objects into its vortex. Now, despite what a certain pirate movie will tell you, this isn't exactly the kind that can sink ships and be over a mile long. But there are recorded whirlpools and maelstroms that are more than capable of sucking in people and drowning them very easily. So if you even think there's a maelstrom near you, go in the opposite direction and go around it if you must. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the ocean and all the various phenomena that happen on the ocean that you should both be aware of and keep in mind in case you're out there yourself? Did you know all these ocean conditions that happen at times? Have you ever one yourself or know of someone caught up in one? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time on the channel.